What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the podcast right here at Celestia Radio, episode 22. It is surprising to be over episode 20. But with that being said, I am your host, Matthias, as is the normal. And yeah, I need a better intro, honestly, don't I, guys? These are my co-hosts, Nat and Dalit. Nat and Dalit. Yes, okay, I said you both. There you are. Hi, guys.
Hey, g'day everyone.
Hey, how is everyone?
That was a good intro.
Oh, solid, super solid.
I thought so. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, fucking leave it in. Who cares? Do it.
Yeah, I know. We're rolling with it. Sorry, I'm getting over sickness. My brain is still
Fried.
dead.
Yeah, you've been
More so than normal.
actually dying this week.
Yeah, it's I've stated a few times on the podcast that I have health issues, so it's not abnormal for me to get really sick kind of out of the blue. But yeah, this last week has been rough. It has been so rough. I felt it coming on Sunday evening, and I was just like, yeah, I don't feel good. I'm gonna go to bed earlier tonight, and hopefully it's just a matter of not getting enough sleep. So maybe just get a little bit of sleep. I'll be fine the next day. Woke up the next day, tried to go on as if everything was fine. That was a terrible idea, and things ended up so much worse.
Things were in
And
fact
Wow.
not fine.
yeah, not fine. And then I lost pretty much the rest of the week, up until, well, I guess I could say yesterday, but today is like the closest to full, like 100% that I've felt.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Right.
I'd say up until today. So yeah, thankfully I've had, some great forms of entertainment to kind of keep myself like
Busy.
sane.
Well, yeah,
I guess sane.
Yeah, that would be a better word.
Because I haven't been able to like leave my bed at all. So it's like I've had popular Twitch streamer and YouTuber CDogVA has been doing
Yeah.
his cyclothon for the Immune Deficiency Foundation.
Mhm.
Excuse me, the
raising money
Iron
for
Mouse
that charity.
Defense Force?
My bad. The Iron Mouse Defense Force, you're right. Raising money, bring up awareness for immune deficiencies and things
They
like
do
that.
such good work.
Amazing cause. They do amazing work. As of this recording, they're not quite done, but almost done. And they've raised over $600,000.
An insane amount.
for the IDF, and that's awesome. It's incredible, and love what they do. Big support to Connor and them, and Chris and Pete and everybody for all of that. But yeah, I've been able to sit and lay and watch along to that and listen into that while that's been going on. And at the same time, I've been farming Guild Wars in Grand Blue, which
Excuse
it's
me.
funny
Did I
because
just hear the word Guild Wars?
yeah,
You
Guild
did,
Wars
yes.
in Grand. It's the other name for it. It's the in-game name is Unite and Fight. It is just a Guild Wars game mode that pops up every
Not
couple
to be
months.
confused with the MMORPG of the same name
Okay,
and the
thank
upcoming
you,
Guild Wars
Dalit.
3 to be announced.
Thank you, Doll. I was very fucking confused. I'm
No,
like,
yeah, this is a Grand Blue thing.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Right,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Has there actually been news for Guild Wars 3 that I'm not aware of?
Apparently behind closed doors, or maybe even openly, they've announced that they are working on a Guild Wars 3, but
What the
that's
fuck?
it. There is no specifics at all.
Okay.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So I assume 5 to 6 years before we see that.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's cool. I'll check that out when it comes out. I played Guild Wars 2 a decent bit.
I played it at the start. Didn't last very long, though.
It was at the start. I played it for a decent bit at the start. My brother took to Guild Wars a decent bit, I think. I liked it, but it could not hold me.
Yeah.
I kept trying.
Yeah.
I tried so many times, and it could not hold me for the long term. So maybe Guild Wars 3 will change something up a little bit, and maybe it'll actually entertain me. We'll see.
Maybe.
Mayhaps.
But not to be confused with that, the Guild Wars game mode, Unite and Fight in Grand Blue, I've been farming that, which in contrast to our other friends that play it, it's like brain dead, their brains oozing out their ears from the repetition of it. I've been sick and not all with it, so it's the perfect kind of mindless thing to keep me sane. That I've just it's kind of been on my phone. Like I have it like right like on my phone on a pillow right next to me, and I'm just tapping every so often for it to keep going while I'm like watching the cyclothon or whatever.
Bully that bunny.
Yeah. So yeah, I had the perfect thing to keep me nice and sane in a weird way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It and then also just came out on Amazon Prime, the Fallout TV show, and I watched the first couple episodes of that actually.
Oh God, I completely forgot about that. Fair. How are you finding it?
Yeah, first couple episodes, I'm honestly really surprised with like how well they've done it. Like I'm impressed. It's good. Like so far it's pretty darn good.
You'd love to hear it.
I think the only quip I would have with it was in the like so they did the I think this was exclusive to Fallout 5. Cuz I played 3, I played New Vegas, I played Fallout 5, Fallout 4, I mean. Sorry. 5 does not exist. I think this is exclusive to 4 where they show the pre-nuclear Fallout world and then go into the actual shelter or whatever. I don't think they did that with 3. I know they didn't with New Vegas because New Vegas takes place.
And those are the only 2 games I've played.
Yeah. I don't know about 76 what it did, and but yeah, Fallout 4. It starts off with like your family going into the shelter, so you get a little bit of the pre-Fallout civilization, and you see like kind of the Fallout start to happen or whatever. It took that approach. That was the opening scene. It showed people and civilization prior to the Fallout, and then it did the Fallout a few minutes in. That's my only quip is the way they showed the Fallout. I don't know. It's like the explosions they felt kind of fake in a
Yeah,
way.
probably low budget will attribute to that.
It's not like it's not like they looked bad, but they didn't feel
Right.
real.
Right.
Yeah. That was my only quip so far. Because it's supposed to be a nuclear fallout, so you think, nuclear explosions. They didn't show bombs dropping or anything. They just suddenly there's just explosion like mushroom clouds that don't look super great kind of in the distance, and then they get closer, and yeah, it was weird. It was almost like it was kind of like they were saying the nuclear fallout explosions, all of that wasn't because of the war or whatever that has always been the case. It was like self-sabotage because it made it look like all the explosions were coming from underground.
Oh.
It just looked that was done really weird. Maybe it was done that way intentionally. I don't know. I'll find out as I watch the show maybe. That was just a little weird. But other than that, no, everything about the show has been really good. Like I said, only 2 episodes in, but they've really captured the like feel of Fallout, like wasteland of the world. Like I think they've captured that really well. The colorfulness of the characters and of people
Right.
who have lived in this wasteland. The like nuclear radiated things, like like some of the wild, like the rad roaches, the other like wildlife and things. Those have been done kind of cool. And then even the vault thing, like the big thing about the vaults, has even played a part. Where one of the big things about Fallout, for people who don't play Fallout, or didn't play far enough, or don't pay too much attention to the lore, is like each of the vaults was a different kind of social experiment kind of thing, where they handled each one differently. So they've even taken that route in an interesting way here because of how the vault plays into the story here, like the way this particular vault worked, and then how the character from that vault is interacting with the world. It's a little weird at times, but at the same time, because of the weirdness of the vaults and everything, it works. So, yeah, I'd say 2 episodes in, there are some things that have happened that I didn't see happening. I'm not gonna lie. Already, I was just like, oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
And I think every scene I've seen from a trailer has already happened in the first 2 episodes. So I think it leaves
Yes.
a lot to see in the next 6. So.
Fantastic. The anti-Square Enix approach, where Square will show you everything in all of their trailers. This one takes, in my opinion, the smart approach of showing you everything in the first episode.
Yeah, I'm excited to keep watching the show. Like, honestly, I'm excited to keep watching the show. And it does make me want to play Fallout a little bit, so I might go play New Vegas again at some point soon. Because in terms of playing games recently, I'm getting to where I'm able to play some other games again.
You love to hear it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because what was it? Last time we talked about games, I was in the perpetual grind of Relink, and now I'm not in that grind quite as much for at least 2 weeks till we get the next update.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, because let's see, and I've been talking right out the blue for this one, haven't I? This is abnormal. Usually I throw it to you guys.
Yeah, this is fine. Don't you worry about this.
Sick.
Yeah. So it's like I was on the Relink grind, and now I'm only missing, of the current cast, disregarding the one character that nobody plays, I'm only missing 2 Terminus weapons.
Nice.
So, and it's just upgrading and getting all of those weapons upgraded and doing all that little random bits of grinding and farming. So I'm kind of mellowed out on there. In terms of like other like grind heavy games, so gacha games, I cut back on those a lot.
We're very proud.
The Relink has got me to play the actual Grand Blue, but that's like on my browser that I usually just click over and click something and then go back to what I'm doing. So
yeah,
not really playing that so much. That game is very, very friendly to doing other things, and was very helpful when I was sick, as I've said. So, Star Rail was what I had been playing for the most part. I did get Luocha, as I said when I talked about it last. And I also got Etron and her Light Cone. Turns out, even when I have the easy you win cards, I'm still just bad at the game. So
damn,
that's
unlucky.
you know.
Well, that's unfortunate.
I think ultimately it does come down to it's that thing with MiHoYo games.
Gotta grind, my guy.
And yeah, just gacha games and RPGs in general. I'm just at that point where I gotta grind gear and things like they're the gear equivalent for Star Rail, right?
Right.
That's basically where I was with Genshin, or am with Genshin, is just farming gear. So I kept trying to put it off, and like it's like I want to keep playing Star Rail, and there's plenty of things for me to do in Star Rail to play, but my characters don't have the gear to do some of those things.
Right.
So it's like I'm in this gear grinding loop now. And that's limited in stamina, so I can only do so much of that. So usually I'm done with that in like 20 minutes. So Star Rail gets opened, 20 minutes later it gets closed, I'm done.
The true loop of the gacha.
Yeah,
That
and then
sounds so
Genshin
fun.
I haven't been playing because I don't need to farm gear as much. Like my main teams are pretty solid. It's just getting other characters up, and I'm just not been playing because I've just kind of been waiting for new story. and we recently got the trailer for the next patch, and there's a lot of story there that looks really good. So,
Daddy's coming.
yeah, I'm probably gonna open up Genshin, like actually open up Genshin, not just open it up to collect something from the mail and play for. Let's be real, I'll probably finish all that story in like 2 sittings, and then I'll probably close Genshin again until the next story update.
Yeah,
Because Genshin at this point, I have
smooth.
I've just been playing for story at this point. Occasionally, like if I have some resources, I'll throw them at a character on banner that I want. So, yeah. So, you know, Last Cloudy is doing its anniversary, so I'm logging in to collect the free stuff on that. And in 2 weeks, when it's done, I'll stop logging in like I do every year.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Sometimes I play that game on the side because it does have a good like anime JRPG story that's fun to enjoy, but I'm playing so many other games, it's just I don't have time to sit and play that one specifically. So, but I do occasionally open it up to play a little bit, but that's once in a blue moon. So with all of that like grinding and stuff, kind of
Mhm.
finally at a point where I'm not having to like sit and grind on a game 24/7, I'm able to play actual games again. So I'm gonna go back to playing Reload and finish that. Hopefully,
Mhm.
gonna hopefully go get my playthrough of Remake done so that I'm ready to play Rebirth at some point.
Fair. I like this idea.
Yeah, and maybe I can start playing a run through of New Vegas because I haven't played New Vegas in over 10 years now. It's been a while. And I never played New Vegas with mods, so maybe I'll mod this one and see what I can do.
200
A whole
yeah,
new
'cause-
experience.
Let's go.
So yeah, because when I played New Vegas, it was before I had a PC, so it was just standard New Vegas. I have since gotten a PC, and I know how to mod a Bethesda game, so I might play a modded New Vegas run at some point.
Sounds like fun.
In the near future, maybe. All because TV show's pretty good. TV show's pretty good. But yeah, that's been like everything I've done recently, and yeah, it's good to talk to you guys again. Good to have a voice to talk again. Being stuck in bed for several days with nobody to talk to.
You don't have
you know?
voices in your head to talk to?
We're not answering that live on the air. You know what?
Right. Welcome back to the land of the living.
Yeah, glad to be back. So, how you guys been? Everything? Did I miss anything interesting over this week?
No, nothing I know of.
No, I'm inclined to agree with that. This has been a quiet week on the front, it seems.
Yeah.
So, mostly just catching up and trying to get myself set up for the weeks to come.
So I haven't like been watching any watching Twitter or anything. So there's been no interesting game news drops or anything.
Other than the Star Wars Outlaw bullshit, which is
bullshit.
the monetization of that fucking game. Or buying that game.
This is news to me. I only knew.
Oh, haven't you seen the fucking dollary dues from Outlaw?
Is it $70? It's $70.
It's $70 for base game. It is okay. This is all in USD, by the way. $70 for base game. 105 or 10 for the upgraded version, which only gives you
like more expensive.
2 fucking like extra missions. So 2 missions are paywalled from the base game.
Interesting.
And then there's another edition that is like $170 for pretty much everything plus the season pass and all that. But then you get everything the exact same as that $170 deal, but it's a $17 subscription.
Ubisoft
So there's 3 like just pay up, and there's 1 subscription for.
I don't even know if this is Ubisoft and EA, because EA is the one who owns the Star Wars property.
No, that's not true. People don't seem to realize this. They no longer have exclusive rights to Star Wars. Disney took it back. Now they can license out different companies to do these games, which is exactly how we get a Ubisoft Star Wars title.
Oh, okay. I didn't know this. Okay.
Yeah, so this is a Ubisoft thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I was like super excited about this game, because I wasn't. I was impressed with what I saw. The biggest issue to this game, until I just learned this little tidbit, was the fact that it was coming out roundabouts the same time as Black Myth Wukong, and I've been waiting for that game way longer, so it's got dibs.
Ooh, unlucky.
But until that point, I was looking at this game going, this game looks good. It looks like a scoundrel adventure, which is not something that we have had in a bit, if at all.
No, we have.
I mean,
we have. Fucking
Yeah.
Knights of the Old Republic. Wait,
I mean,
what's the
it could be
MMO
a
one?
scoundrel. That's fair. That's fair.
Wait, yeah, that's the MMO one, right? Knights.
No, KOTOR was the
RPG.
the BioWare one. The,
Right,
Yeah, the one that's like
Whatever
Dragon
the
Age,
MMO. Oh, the Old
SWTOR.
Republic.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
that's,
sort of.
The Old
that's the one
Republic.
I'm thinking of. But yeah.
But yeah, no, like it's a shame to hear that this game has already handicapped itself months before launch with terrible monetization, which I mean makes sense. The game I'm playing is also currently shooting itself in the foot with its horrible monetization, so it just feels like a theme.
Yeah.
Is it really? I mean, maybe I didn't understand, but is it really that bad? It still seems kind of the same as every other thing else.
So
it is bad, because I was saying
three payment options with varying degrees of things in those options. You get the base game for the same price as any other AAA, like heavy air quotes on that nowadays.
2 missions
AAA,
are paywalls. You still gotta buy
so
season
that's always
pass.
the case with. That's always the case.
I don't.
That's been the case
No,
for
that is
years.
not the case.
There's always
Season
been
pass, yes.
missions that are paywall.
No, but the
I'm not
missions
sure that
are
I
not.
agree with that.
There's always been DLC or
It's not
side
DLC,
content
that's the
or
thing.
smaller missions
No,
Right?
that are locked behind higher versions.
I mean, look.
This has always been a thing.
Again, I still.
had this.
I'm not sure that I agree with that for a single player game. I don't think that that's strictly speaking true. I think a lot of the stuff that gets locked behind pre-order specifically and collector's editions are a bunch of nonsensical items that you don't need.
yes.
To hear that something as meaningful as like, and let's be real here, whichever missions these aren't meaningful, but something like an actual mission being locked is some Destiny level exclusivity stuff,
And it's not
which was
DLC.
still in and of itself not asking you to pay more money so much as play on a specific platform. And not that that's any better, mind.
But like there have been deluxe editions before. If I'm not mistaken, one of the Dragon Ages had side missions that were locked behind their deluxe edition.
When was the last time a
They-
Dragon
like-
Age game came out?
It's been a few years
Are
now.
you talking about
few years now.
Dragon Age 1 with
But
Shale?
No, I'm thinking.
It would have to be
was 2.
Inquisition, because Inquisition's like the most recent.
I was thinking 2.
Oh,
Jesus,
God, we're all
okay,
thinking
that's a
fucking different
ways
things.
beyond.
Yeah, so
But I think Shale's
it's
actual
not an
DLC,
uncommon
so-
thing. They're like Dalit said, they're usually nonsensical missions that don't end up playing a huge part, end up being smaller things.
Okay,
So-
so even allowing for the
And then
fact that this is
To
commonplace.
Nat's point of them not being DLC, they still technically end up being DLC because you can buy the digital upgrade at any point for these games usually, which just makes them DLC.
Fine.
Because you can just
Taking into account that, yeah, okay, maybe this is more commonplace than I remember or think. I'm still with Nat on this. I don't like this behavior, and I think it absolutely should be disparaged openly and loudly.
Mhm.
I'm not saying I like it. I'm saying why are we calling it out now when it's been the norm?
No.
For
I would
years.
say this is a
Because
normal.
you don't call it out now. You call it out every time you see it.
Yes, exactly.
every time. Because if you ever stop, then it becomes normalized. That's how we get to this position.
Yes.
Well, that's just it. It is. Like I said, this has been a normal thing for years.
Even still, like, because it's normal, do we suddenly let it go?
I mean,
Absolutely not.
I guess no, you don't. But at the same time, it's like I've been working with games for over 10 years, and it's like it mostly on retail sides, right? But these have like been there the entire time. It's just you can call them out every time, but it just I guess for me, I've gotten tired of saying it every time. It's like, why are we doing it this way? Why are we doing it this way? Why are we doing it this way? When companies have been doing it for so long now, it's like
Yeah.
they're obviously not listening.
I mean, it's true.
They're gonna keep.
It's true. They're going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep saying this until I'm blue in the face.
I mean, and the fact of the matter is, 9 out of 10 times, consumers still buy it. So,
well, here's the thing.
I don't think that's actually true of the deluxe editions, because they are, by definition, not often bought. Like they are like obviously the 105.
The deluxe editions are not normally bought, but then people get the regular games, like it, and then just buy the DLC later a lot of times if they like it. So what they're selling in the deluxe edition still gets sold. They still get that money.
Well,
it's just putting it in a bundled version from the get-go is mostly just saving a step.
You say buying. I disagree with that. I think people this is clearly the tactic that Ubisoft is doing, is making base game the standard new price, right, which is $70 USD, and then make the other two editions.
I have a problem with in and of itself, mind.
Yes, I agree.
Fair,
don't get me wrong. And then make the other two editions exorbitantly expensive as all fucking shit. And then you have the subscription, which is the exact same thing for everything for the highest edition. I don't know what it's called. And but that's only for like $17. So you get everything for subscribing instead of buying $170 fucking slop.
So that part's weird in and of itself. That's where I was gonna go. Yeah, I was gonna get to that, but yeah, that part
I think I initially misunderstood what you were saying.
Yeah,
I thought it was $70 plus a $17 reoccurring fee. For all future content.
If you subscribe, you get it.
Okay, that's
for a month.
So they're still trying to do their Game Pass equivalent.
Yes.
That's interesting, because I mean, this isn't the first time that they've brought this up. I just assumed this platform was dead. I didn't realize they were still trying to breathe life into it.
Sadly, you'd be wrong, Dollet, about that.
I mean, I guess so. Like, the issue with this is that it's Ubisoft, which kind of breaks my heart to say, because God, I remember when I was all about Ubisoft games.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they've proven themselves to be entirely untrustworthy, and their games just have been becoming less and less fun. So I genuinely am interested in not only who is joining whatever this Game Pass like is, I forget what the name was, but how successful,
some shit like that. I don't fucking know.
I don't know. Or how successful they plan on it being, because as we've been, explained multiple times, Game Pass, the most successful version of its type, is still not profitable. It's operating at a loss.
Yeah, but they're getting just money up front, so like it's.
Well, no, I mean the real reason is it's Microsoft and they have more money than God. Well,
yes, but like what I'm trying to say is like they would rather get 100 people paying $17 than 20 people paying.
Sorry, just saying what I've heard.
I know, it's just that one was weird to me. Go on, Nat. I'm sorry. I had to call out that was like a weird sentence to me. Keep going.
Pretty much, they would rather have 100 people pay $17 than 20 people paying $170, despite the fact that the 20 people buying the $170 will net them more money. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I see what you're saying. I mean, I think it really does come down to the fact that a lower price point has been shown time and time again to be more sought after. Like I'm much more likely to buy a game I'm on the fence about if it's more than half off.
Yeah, exactly.
It's true. I will just cave. He's like, yeah, I had a passing interest in that, and that's a deep as hell discount.
And
Fair.
it looks good on
As a
their
matter of fact-
quarterly earnings as well, you know.
That's the part where you lose me because I
Really?
don't think that's true, and it's why I made the statement I made before, because Game Pass works at a loss. It very much doesn't look good to your investors, no matter how many people you're bringing in to your
subscription base
to your services, right? Like that's that many more users that will no doubt spend money elsewhere in your base. You're still not making the money that you were, that you're telling them that you would up front. And investors only really care
about money.
About the money.
Yes.
Because they're investors. They've put money in. They want to see money out. They don't really care about the promise of money.
Right.
They want it now.
Yeah. But don't you think having the information of the numbers of the subscription-based model being higher than actual purchasable goods would be more, not better, but more favorable to, I was going to say stock owners.
If you look at it, if you look at it without the monetary aspect of it, yes, I think that might be true. But it's when you look at the monetary side of things that becomes in question.
Right.
So it depends on how they present that information or how that information is consumed. So, because it's kind of like, I can't think of the exact term, but it's basically a perspective thing. So, you look at it from this angle, it looks like that's so much more, so it looks good.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way you have people look at it so that it looks good. But if you look at it from this angle, you realize, oh, wait, you're really not getting anything, or it's really not that big or that good. But that's why you purposely show it all from a different angle. So there's like a term for that entire
spin.
Yeah, So I guess if you look at it like from just the number side of things, it probably does look really good. But it's when the monetary side of things comes into it that it's a bit more questionable.
Yeah, and Ubisoft is a failing company that has wanted to sell multiple times in the last couple of years. Really can't afford to look bad financially.
And yet, they pull something like this.
But yeah, of course. I mean, they have the whole issue that is that money sink of their quadruple A title in not Sea of Thieves, in
Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones.
Yeah,
That's already like that. I genuinely don't know if people understand how harmful that game was to that company.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that game's actually out now.
There's at least that. There's a chance that it maybe recoups stuff in the next decade.
I think I saw people playing that for maybe. There's a few people I saw who were willing to try it out and play it for like that first week or two. Ooh. I don't think I've seen any of them play it since.
And it's such a big loss. That's so much money. Forget the time. Let's forget for a moment how long it took. People were getting paid that entire time. Assets had to be made that entire time.
Mm-hmm.
People were
multiple times the assets had to be made because the project got scrapped and had to be restarted at least once.
So yeah, like from a monetary standpoint, from like a financial standpoint, Ubisoft is in pretty dire straits. A lot of their games just don't play out as well critically as they used to. And every game they make has to somehow they go so big, they put so much into it that they just don't have enough of a base to get that money back.
I think Mirage was one of their best, like financially and everything recently. That's also because it was sold at a lower price point, right?
Yes.
And so even then, I don't know if it was like a profitable game for them.
No
but I
idea.
think it did. I think it did better, like sales wise, just because it was a lower price point game,
Mm-hmm.
and ultimately it was what the Assassin's Creed fans had been asking for, a more narrative focused Assassin's Creed again instead of these open world ones. So,
Right.
oh, I mean, as a longtime Assassin's Creed fan, I hope that it did well. That's really
True. I plan to pick it
hopeful
up
news.
some point. I like
Yeah, same.
regardless. I'm going to play through that game because it harkens back to a time in the series that I enjoy.
Right, same. So it's if it does well, like regardless of what happens to Ubisoft, the IP could be picked up and still continued if it's like shown to still be doing
Right,
well.
Right.
So that's the hope there with that one for me personally.
I find that Ubisoft has stepped into. I mean, they kind of created this in many ways. The issue that we have with every game needing to be open world, and some of them working out, some of them being like densely packed and well put together, but a lot of them just being big and empty.
Yep.
So I don't know. I think they need to step back, make things smaller, go back to really letting the narrative drive things. Like their priorities are just not where they should be. I genuinely don't know how to save that company.
I have a question related to that, but I'm gonna hold off onto it for now, anyways. But to circle back to what kind of started this, the Star Wars game,
Right.
so nothing about what like that subscription thing weird, right?
Super.
But the price point of it and the way they're doing that doesn't do anything for me in terms of the excitement for that game. That game still looks interesting, so I'm still interested in it. Like nothing about them doing the 3 editions does anything for me because, as I stated, that was something I'm used to, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm used to games having the base edition that's normal AAA price, the deluxe edition that has something special, air quotes, and that's like $20 to $30 more, and then the big edition that has all the shiny stuff, whatever that shiny stuff may be. So
All digital, by the way. All the big shiny stuff that you were talking about, that's all digital, by the way. There's no actual physical like statue.
There's no collector's edition.
Yeah.
oh, that's a wild decision.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why I was like,
Still not that alien to me, but that's still a wild decision.
I mean, like, see, here's the thing though, right?
Give a blaster, give like her little bike, the ship, the bot.
Like, because
so many things you could have made like a little statuette out of.
Yeah, like, cause I'm thinking, like, I remember back in like Final Fantasy 14 and 7 remake when we got like statues for like the highest money edition.
Be
right?
careful. Square has a pretty good relationship with Play Arts, so they're always going to give you something real nice.
Well, yeah, but like that was 250
Square brings up a different
Australian
thing too.
dollars, and to me that seems more reasonable because again, high quality statue, physical stuff like art books and music and all that shit. But no, for Star Wars Outlaw, 170 USD, everything's all fucking digital. It's like, okay, cool.
Like I said, that's an odd alien choice to me, but I mean, ultimately, it's still the same dynamic. It's one of those that's like, yeah, I definitely never would pick up that version of it, but I've seen it before in some shape or form. I think you got something very similar to this in a lot of the like first person shooter games like Battlefield and Call of Duty did things like this, I think, for a little bit there. So where the big edition, the 3rd edition wasn't like a physical thing that had a bunch of stuff. You just got the
Weapon
battle
skins.
pass for all of the
season pass
weapon
and all that
skins
shit,
and stuff.
yeah.
So it's not unheard of to me. It's an alien choice with this particular game and IP because there's so much you could do, like Dalit said, the blaster, the bike, whatever. But yeah, so it's just like, okay, they made all these extra editions. Does that affect me? No, I was never going to pick those up anyways. I'm just gonna pick up the base version and play it. So I'm still interested and excited for this game. Their weird decisions aside, because those were never for me anyways, I guess.
Yeah, and like I said, from the presentations, the game looks good. It looks good.
Yeah. That's an interesting thing to have come out, though. Yeah. But no other tidbits on come out in my absence from the internet for a few days there, I guess, huh?
I don't know. I've been watching Bandai Namco shoot itself in the foot with Tekken.
What have they been doing with Tekken?
So okay, how do I break this down efficiently? There was an update that brought a new character with it, Eddie. That's fine. People are going to complain about Eddie. Learn to fight Eddie. It's fine. They also brought into a fighting game, as a reminder to everyone, a fighting game, not a season pass, but a battle pass.
Oh God!
They put a battle pass in my fighting game.
What the fuck?
Why? Why do you want to put a battle pass in everything? Developers, really?
So it just goes back to fucking money. Ugh.
And honestly, that is likely. I'm going to say likely because, man, I'm not trying to start fight with people over this again. It is likely, yes, in fact, over money. So, in order to further go into Tekken, let's chat about Blue Protocol.
Oh, hold up. This was a wild twist.
Yeah,
wasn't it? See Blue Protocol coming.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So,
okay.
Get on your tinfoil hats, because I'm going to be honest.
Conspiracy time. My favorite.
I can't prove that this is the case, but when it was explained, when someone else said it, it seemed pretty reasonable to me. So, what is undeniable at the moment is that Blue Protocol has come out in Japan, and only Japan, and has flopped.
Ooh.
Okay. Quick interjection.
Yeah,
for people who are listening, for our listeners who are like, wait, Blue Protocol? Why do I know that name? Why does that sound familiar?
Because you forgot about it. Since there was no fucking information on it.
A year and a half ago.
It's more than that, though.
It might be more than that, though.
3 years.
What is time? There was this really cool looking anime MMO RPG that we saw at Summer Games Fest and a bunch of other places that had a lot of RPG and MMO fans very interested. Like, I'm pretty sure you saw it or heard about it, or somebody that, if you're an MMO fan or you watch Twitch streamers, were interested in this game.
Yeah, for sure.
That's Blue Protocol. Blue Protocol, right? Yes, Blue Protocol. That's that game. That's that game that everybody was really like, oh, hold up, this looks interesting, for a decent amount of time, and then promptly disappeared and nobody heard.
Yeah.
To be fair, that is kind of on Blue Protocol's fault, because they pretty much banned all the English-speaking players on the JP beta test, and since no one could play it, there was no advertisement from them.
I mean, we all agree that it's absolutely their own fault. It is the fault of Bandai Namco and Amazon. They have done this.
I have no idea who would blame it on anybody else, to be fair. When a game just disappears from being covered, that's rarely on anybody but the people behind the game.
Yep.
That said,
advertising their game.
That said, regardless to whether or not they banned a bunch of overseas bros like us.
No, they did.
What they definitely did is delay.
Oh,
the game came out in Japan. We still have no idea when it's ever going to come out in the West.
If ever.
Putting this out there. Yeah, a big old if on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so it came out and it flopped. Just isn't doing very well. The JP side doesn't seem to be very happy with it. Any overseas bros like us that's playing, they don't seem to be very happy about it. Also, kudos to you for being able to get in on that.
Yeah,
seems really difficult. It is being touted as it's a flop. It is going to financially not do well.
Ooh, unlucky.
So
there's also a lot of other nuances about why it didn't do well besides just that, like some of the monetization decisions and gameplay decisions from what somebody was telling us.
Yeah.
Because I think me and you were both there in that conversation, Dalit.
It was it was like Yumi, Aqua, and Kobe at the time.
Yeah. Like there's a lot of things behind why
I'm
that
not
game
even
didn't
going to
do
go
well
into
on their side.
why it flopped, because again, as someone who doesn't have access to it, I can't for sure say, and I don't speak or read Japanese, but it's clearly not doing well.
Right.
And there is something wrong, and it needs to be seen to, because at the moment, because there were no major releases last year, and I know people are going to immediately say, hey, what about Armored Core? I think people forget how niche that series is.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Bandai Namco had a bad time of last year. Year over year, their digital entertainment sector brought in 3.5% of what was expected.
Holy.
They missed their expectations by 96.5%.
Fuck me, that is insane.
That is
a
nuts.
Considerable margin.
So, and I've heard people say, yeah, but that's just one section, which is true. Like, and there are other sections that are doing better. But for any section to have failed by that much is a major shakeup. And that means that that's a lot of money that was expected from that section, from the digital entertainment side, that is not happening right now.
They don't have that money.
So let's flash forward to Tekken again. Tekken 8 comes out. It's in a pretty alright place. I mean, there's things that could be better, but you know, it didn't have an arcade run. We are essentially beta testers for it. You know, the vanilla patch is going to be a bit rough, but it's okay. Eddie is added. Eddie seems mostly fine. He's got a couple of bugs, but you can work those out.
Right.
The dev team is making some pretty critical errors on their bug fixes.
Oh.
None of which are truly so important for me to talk about here, but it just kind of shows that they're either stretched thin or don't have the manpower to deal with all this right now, which is interesting. And there's the addition of the Tekken store, which is fine. I'm going to put this out here now. This is my Tekken 8 hot take. People are angry that they're selling us older costumes, and I think that's dumb.
I agree.
I will happily pay $4 for my Tekken 5 costume that I want. I'll do it. It's fine. And characters are $8. That's fine. You all clearly are not playing Overwatch if you're complaining about these prices. These prices are entirely fair. I don't want everything, so I'm not going to buy everything. So this saves me money. And then they launch the Battle Pass.
Oh my god, just why?
And now you've lost me. Wait, what? What's happening here? Why is there a Battle Pass in my fighting game? I will pay for a season pass. I will pay the $30 for my 4 characters and a stage. Sure, why not? Why are you selling me a Battle Pass? You have a shop. You literally just made a shop. Why are you now expecting me to pay a admittedly very fair price of $6?
Yes,
for a battle pass.
But the question,
no, go ahead, Matt.
But the question is, what's the purpose of the battle pass? Because it's not for the consumers. No, I'm talking about like the company side.
Funny you should ask that.
Is it game
Tekken
time?
7 did very well for a fighting game.
Right.
It sold a lot of units. So I assume the idea is if even a fraction of people buy this battle pass, they can continue to make up some of the failure of this past year. Again, we're still wearing our tinfoil hats. This is all just what we suspect. What is very real is that there is a Tekken shop, which everyone is not on board with, and there's a battle pass. And let me tell you, the battle pass is trash.
I'm not surprised.
It is hot garbage. I literally can't believe one of the rewards is a untextured blender sphere.
Like what do you even put in a battle pass for a fighting game?
Costumes.
So, here's my thoughts. Right? you do a battle pass. You do a
Uh-huh.
free track and a paid track, and this is what you do.
Yep.
In the free track, you give us all the old shit from the previous games. It's fair. You couldn't put it in the game before launch. You put it in now. It's free. Fine. Whatever. If you're not playing the game, you don't get it. Makes sense. And on the paid track, you give us new shit. Now, the problem with that is fighting games don't have a whole lot of budget, and you can't keep making new stuff. It's what makes a battle pass a horrific idea for a fighting game. What we ended up getting was 2 tracks full of junk.
So, but yeah, I mean that means at the end of the day, like, I'm sorry, it's something about a battle pass in a fighting game. It's just it doesn't compute in my head.
Yeah, I'm
right?
also
Yeah.
fucking
Like,
It's because like I've played so many games that have battle passes at this point because everybody decides that their game needs a battle pass.
yes.
And it's like, okay, mobile RPGs or RPGs, you get experience items, you get stamina items, you get money, you get
Premium
you know,
currency,
all of
that
these
shit.
these like like random things like that you use in the game. You get extra skill points, whatever. And then a paid version gives a little bit more of that in some way or something.
And also,
Cool. I've seen it in,
either like a free UR character or a super expensive costume or some shit like that.
Yeah, depending on the game,
Yeah.
right? And then for a shooter game, you know, you get like,
Skins
you
and all
know,
that
the
shit.
basic cheap skins
Yeah.
for the guns. Depending on the type of shooter, you might get like avatar skins that are basic. You might get like materials or coins to unlock more skins and stuff for the guns or perks or whatever.
Mhm.
Like I get like these little things that you can put in there. But what does a fighting game have to fill in all those levels with on
Nothing.
a battle pass?
Tracks,
Nothing, because
music
Okay,
tracks,
you're playing
I don't fucking know.
you're playing as a character. You can only ever play as one at a time. This is not a versus fighter. You're not playing. It's not like you're playing 3 characters versus 3. It's 1v1, baby.
Yeah, this
So-
ain't fucking Dissidio.
Exactly.
Looking at you,
So-
NT.
You could put skins in there. You could put assets for the customization because you can customize characters.
Yeah.
And they did. They put a couple of customized things in there. It's a shame they're all from Tekken 7. That's or a recolor of what we already have. That's a pity, but and you can do a cheeky nameplate
Oh,
that only
cool.
you're going to see.
You're gonna
it's
see
so
for like
bad.
3 seconds before the game fully
It's-
loads in.
man.
It's
Yeah.
really bad. Like
Or
this
the
is one of the
match, I should
times
say.
when there was a store and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I would like to pay $4 and for you to give me this nice thing.
Mhm.
So is it the developers or the publishers that are out of touch with players
Oh,
at this
publishers,
point, right?
unironically.
Well, I'm always hesitant to blame devs because I don't think devs care. I don't think devs care to do any of this.
I think
I don't
devs
see
care
what the
up
benefit to a
certain point.
dev. I don't think any of this the more greedy you are, the more you hurt the dev, right? Because they are the ones who are going to catch flack. Because
Yes,
that's
exactly.
what everyone
That's
says.
why I say
fuck the devs, fuck the devs, fuck the devs.
publishers are the one that's in the wrong here.
They're
So
the-
it is publishers.
It has to be
right? It is
publishers. Yeah, the devs don't get to make this call.
Yeah.
And
They just have to do it.
It's like I didn't want to blame the devs because I'm like, that just doesn't make sense.
No.
So it is the publisher. So I had to ask:
in every previous
is it the
game,
devs or the publishers in this? Kind of
in
thing.
every previous game,
Yeah.
if they didn't have it in the vanilla game, odds are you just weren't going to get that game. Devs didn't get around to it. Making games is hard. Now they
Yeah.
found a way to put it in the game, and they did in the scummiest way possible by making you pay for it.
Yes.
It used to be not that bad because you're only paying like $5 extra, but that considerably got more as time progressed.
And again, the old stuff, like to pay for the costumes, I'm willing to do it
Mhm.
because there's a couple costumes that I want, and most of them that I don't want, I'm just not gonna buy. It's the battle pass. The battle pass gets on my nerves. And the battle pass gets on my nerves because it does the other thing that battle passes love to do that a lot of mobile games like to do. So, like I said, this battle pass is actually super reasonably priced. It is $6. That is so reasonable by comparison to all the other shit I see.
Yes.
and you get all $6 of your dollars back if you complete it.
Okay, nice.
Wonderful.
then
It's a shame you
but-
can only buy the currency to get the battle pass in $5 or $10.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yep. We've talked about this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you can so the battle pass is actually $10, and $10 is still okay, but
It's kind of an
it's
underhanded.
the principle.
Yes.
Yeah.
You said it's $6, but it literally is impossible to be $6
Fucking public
because you won't let me
man.
just pay $6.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, it's the very underhanded method of it, right?
So yeah,
It's
virtually everything about this battle pass is super poorly thought out. Fighting game monetization is awful. As I understand it, both Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter 6 also have a battle pass. And as I understand it, both of those battle passes are also hot garbage. Look, making a battle pass for a fighting game is a bad idea. There is not enough content in a fighting game that you can change.
Yeah.
There
Because,
just isn't.
No, yeah.
Because the content is the player versus player or the story, but it's mostly player versus player. So
Oh yeah, it has nothing to do with the story. You can't. I don't even think you can use any of this customizable stuff in the story. I think you're
Right,
locked into
but, like,
whatever that is.
it's like baffling to me because when people watch fighting games, whether competitively or just casually online, whatever, right? It's player versus player. They don't fucking care what paid music track. Some people may care about what costume you're using, but generally overall no one cares what costume or skin you're using. Like people aren't there for cosmetics. People are there
I
for
don't know if
player
that's
skill.
necessarily true. In
Okay,
some
thank
games.
you. I'm going to get to that, Matt, because you're correct.
Wait, what was I wrong about?
Everything.
So no, well, no, I don't know about everything. I think he's got a solid point. What he's trying to say makes perfect sense, and I agree to for the most part. But you did say like they don't have an effect.
Oh, that's the one part that I think I might give him.
Wait, what?
So there are a few games that I've seen. I can't think of them off the top of my head.
What I just said was specifically just for fighting games. If
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like
I want to say one of them was a fighting game, is why I bring it up. There are some games where there were like certain skins changed hitboxes on things.
oh yeah,
So
I know all about that.
it
Yeah,
gave
MOBA
advantages
does that
or
shit, yeah.
So, because I have a funny feeling I know what you're talking about, I'm going to go Street Fighter 5 on this one because it's the absolute best example. In Street Fighter 5, you could get both costumes and arenas that gave an unfair advantage to certain characters. The reason why that's mostly not an issue...
But that's so minor. But that's minor though.
Well,
like that's not.
Well, it's major enough that they're all banned in competitive play.
Oh, okay.
You do not
even
get
the
to play.
most minor thing can make a difference.
Yeah.
In
Oh yeah, no.
They're
Again,
banned in competitive.
place,
again, I
so-
understand that because MOBAs
do you play it
and
in
all that
ranked?
shit. But like, what I'm trying to say is, people aren't going there to watch for the content. No, people aren't watching fighting games for the skins and the arenas and the music. People are going there for the content, and that content
Correct.
is player versus player.
Okay,
From
so
a viewer standpoint,
Yes.
definitely.
yes, that is correct exclusively from a viewer standpoint.
Yes.
Because the players of the fighting games, we do actually want those nice costumes. We do. And we do want nice arenas. We do.
Yes,
and
yes,
frankly,
exactly right.
I want you to give me Ground Zero Funk back in Tekken 5, please. Like, why
No,
is...
what you want,
why is this
Dalit,
missed?
is you want Waffle House.
Also, yeah, look, Harada, I understand you're drafting up this proposal. At least I really hope that you actually are and weren't just saying that to make us feel better. I do want to throw hands in front of the Waffle House. I do.
Dude, I would consider picking up the game if that like that was a thing. So
Mhm. This is Waffle House. It never closes, and these fists are rated E for everyone.
exactly. This is a subtle nod to the other podcast I is a part of. Literally titled their episode off of that.
It's true.
This last week, and it threw me so hard. I was like, wait, y'all got in a fight in a Waffle House? What did I miss?
No.
I
That's just
thought,
another
I was like, man,
Tuesday
I
for
was
Waffle
out sick
House.
for a few days.
I am not
was
fighting
like-
anyone from a Waffle House. I will die. They will murder me. Before we get too far away from it, I have just been exceptionally hard on Tekken 8. But I want it to be said, despite all the shenanigans that have happened and all the questionable balances, this game's fun as hell.
Yeah.
It's just so fun. It is easily my favorite experience with the Tekken so far. It is probably my favorite one since Tekken 5.
But yeah,
I don't know if it's better than Tekken 5, though. I really like Tekken 5.
I don't blame you for your gripes, Dollar, because that's just, it's baffling beyond belief.
To be fair, like, it's the first time they fucked up this hard in Tekken from a monetization standpoint. I mean, people could get pissy about the character prices before, and that's understandable. Because characters are really important in a fighting game.
Mhm.
So when you don't have access to all of them, you are suddenly at a disadvantage.
Right.
Like, I feel like it's not like a shooter where if you don't have an agent, it suddenly doesn't change anything. It's just you go out and you still keep shooting. In a fighting game, if I don't know what Kunimitsu does, I'm gonna get blown up for free.
Yeah.
So like monetization in fighting games is difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. But this was a bridge too far. This was too transparently greedy. And frankly, unless you're going to put together a battle pass that feels good to pick up, I don't care how cheap it is. Like, battle pass feels wrong in a fighting game. There's not enough content for you to give us to make it feel like you're not just gouging us for extra money.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing with battle passes, right? They have to feel like good to pick up, worthwhile. Like the reason like a lot of RPG games and stuff that have them don't like, and like a lot of gacha games that have them don't feel so bad is because ultimately you're, even in the free version, you're getting stuff that you need, and it's kind of nice to get it for free when you're just playing the game.
Frankly, a gacha game has a much easier time of it.
Oh yeah, definitely. No,
its player
easy.
base is used to
That's
spending
fucking
money
built
like
around
that.
it, that's why.
Well, I mean, in like every single gacha game, they're selling you materials.
Right.
And those are always going to be useful from
Exactly.
day one till end of service.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need any of that in my fighting game. I could just choose to play Lily from now until Tekken 9 in nothing but player 1 outfit, and I would have the same experience.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, but it's like it's you know, more than just gacha games, but like those RPG-esque games as well that have
Right.
them. Some of your shooters as well.
14.
They don't inherently
For crafting,
feel
yeah.
bad because you get nicer things like the crafting materials or
Mhm.
whatever that you can use for free just by playing. So it's ultimately just like a side mission that, you know, you're dinging off without having to do anything.
Sure,
to use a blatantly RPG term.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, that just doesn't exist in a fighting game. So even if you price it like supremely fairly at $6, and even if you give me back all $6 of my dollars by the end,
Which is nice. But it's still
which is brilliant.
yes.
It's just a shame your battle pass is hot garbage and I don't trust it.
Yes, exactly right.
That's it. And frankly, trying to shove 60 to 120 different things into a battle pass for a fighting game is fucking hilarious. You're gonna give me back 120 things? Like, when were you making these assets? Clearly they're not gonna be very high quality, and they're not. Like I said,
They're
a
just
lot of them are from
recolors.
Tekken 7. And frankly, that's fine. And the new stuff is like a new colored eye with like the Mishima logo in it, or
Right.
an all white eye. Woo! Or
ooh,
I don't know what else is in there that's worth a damn.
but we're
Shit. It's a really bad battle pass, guys. I'm really
sorry,
salty about this.
I'm sorry, the ooh made me think Box Ghost, and I went boing. Sorry, my brain got so off track when the ooh came up.
Yeah, it's just really off-putting. Don't do it. I just fucking. I honestly, hottest take in the whole wide world. The customization is a mistake, and you should go back to Tekken 5 customization, where everyone gets like 6 different options per body part. Because Tekken 5 was my favorite. Tekken 6 is probably actually the best, but y'all ain't ready for that. Mostly because you two don't play, and the rest of the FGC might eat me alive, and I don't want that.
That's fair. That's fair.
Actually true.
So that's where my salts come from, but I've also been playing a bunch, not a whole lot, but like enough. It's been a while since I had time to get in. I've taken Lily from quite literally beginner up to the orange ranks. I usually plateau at the red ranks in Tekken. I think with as easy as Tekken 8 is feeling, I'm probably going to get to the ruler ranks this time.
Oh my god.
I don't know if I've just become a better player because of legacy skill or because Tekken 8 is... I hate to say it does kind of feel like baby's first Tekken.
Ooh, just like Monster Hunter World.
Which is fine because it still feels like Tekken. They just made it so you don't have to defend anymore. So when all of these gorillas come in swinging with their unsafe attacks...
Does everything have like God Pierce now or some shit?
No. Like the Tekken has asked you to become more aggressive.
Ah, right.
They understood that at high levels, watching Tekken could be boring. So they're like, yeah, aggression.
Right.
So like I said, when all these people come in swinging like absolute gorillas with their big unsafe moves, and I touch them, suddenly instead of doing 20% on like a cheeky counter hit, I am dragging them to the wall and I'm doing 60 to 80%.
Holy.
So like it's like, oh, okay, because I have any amount of fundamentals, I am just better than you. Like in every aspect. Okay. Ooh, I don't know that I would be doing this good in 7.
When are we gonna see competitive Dollet on the big screen?
You're not. I do not have it in me to sit in practice mode and grind out the situations that are actually my weakness.
Right. I mean,
I would much rather just take the L fighting my opponent instead of learning their character and beating them from a character standpoint.
Yeah. No,
just get in their head. Just keep blowing them up for doing stupid shit. You can. You do not need to be good at Tekken to get very far in Tekken 8, and that seems like a bad thing. But I think it'll be all right in the long run. Though, hey, nerf Fang, nerf Drugnov. What the hell is happening there? What even are those two hell characters?
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Anyways, let's stop talking about Tekken 8, otherwise we'll be here for a while.
So, I'm curious. Does like a lot of the things we've mentioned already are publishers putting things on the devs or putting things on companies to make money or whatever. Mm-hmm. Is this why a lot of, I don't want to necessarily say just indie games, but indie and smaller games end up being so
better in like every way?
Yeah, I guess like just enjoyable or complete packages that do so hot, like with rewards or awards and things like that, because they don't have, some of them do come from companies that that have publishing backing them, but because they're the smaller titles, or in the case of a lot of indies, they don't have like a publisher, right, quote unquote, breathing down their neck, making them make these decisions. It's usually a smaller or small dev team doing what they want to do and make the game they want to make without that pressure or whatever on them.
Absolutely.
Is that probably why?
Unironically, 100% that is the case.
Yeah. I genuinely feel that's absolutely the case. They do not have to. Their job is to sell well, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need to promote anything. They will never have a battle pass in them that isn't just taking the piss.
Oh, well, I was going to say, unless that's like the joke of the game.
The joke, right? Yeah.
But like, genuinely, there will be no genuine battle pass in a fucking indie game unless...
And it's for 2 reasons. No investor, no publisher is going to put that much faith into an indie because it's unknown whether the game will sell well.
Exactly.
And the indie side is terrified of failure, and like their big thing is, I hope people like what I made.
Yeah.
They're still just the artist.
Yes, exactly right.
Like they're not even devs yet. Like they are, right? But like they're still like the truest sense of games as arts.
Yes,
Because
exactly.
they're just here, they desperately want to
Yeah.
tell a story. They want you to enjoy the specific aspect of gaming that they've made. They're not in it for the happy dollar yet.
Yeah.
That can change going forward, but you know.
I remember when indie games were kind of blowing up, right? They became, bigger in the gaming sphere. People were paying more attention to them with games like
Undertale.
Child of Light,
Yeah.
Journey,
Limbo.
and things like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Would you count first Five Nights at Freddy's? Because I don't remember. If it
Yes,
was one-
absolutely.
Okay, then yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
very much so.
100% I
Okay.
would. Not anymore.
Yeah,
The
no,
first
not
one?
anymore.
Yeah,
The
probably-
first one.
Like
Probably
the
not
first
anymore, no.
5, maybe, I don't know. But like, yeah, he came from nowhere, and he made like 20 awful games before that.
Oh shit! Really?
So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, dude struggled and just happened to find this thing that through luck or by hitting the nerve of what people were looking for, finally found success.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But yeah.
so it's I remember when those were blowing up and becoming bigger things.
Mhm.
And I never really paid them too much attention at the time because I was younger and I was very much distracted looking at all the big, AAA games that were coming out at the time and things like that.
Yeah.
I also, had the money and was in a living and financial situation where I was picking up all those games anyway, so I really didn't have time to give to these smaller games. Which is why there's 30, 40 games on my Steam wish list that are just these older indie titles that I never got to play. Because now I'm like, oh man, those games probably were incredible and I really should go play them. But now I'm seeing yeah, okay, I get why they may have been blowing up then because it was, in that time when these negative trends of publishers putting these expectations on developers and you were getting these 3 different versions with different price tags, these weird DLC packagings of expansion passes or whatever, and all of these things were coming into the norm. So yeah, those indie games kind of had a place. I think it really kind of clicked with me the at where those games had come 3-4 years ago when the game of the year was It Takes Two.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
remember.
Because I watched that gameplay and I'm like, man, this looks like an honestly really fun, really incredible 2-player game. Like it just
Was it indie?
looks
I actually don't
good.
remember.
It was. It was still
It
indie.
was,
It had the backing either at the time or after the fact of EA, but the company was a relative unknown and they were going to put this game out regardless. They had other games. I think Brothers is the same title and that had come out before too. I think it was self-published. I might be wrong about that.
But it's one of those things where even if they aren't strictly truly indie, they're one of those smaller teams that
They were
publishers
absolutely
aren't
considered
breathing
it, though.
down.
Yeah.
That publishers aren't breathing down the neck
Yeah.
of, like you get with Tekken and other bigger titles and series and things.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm still waiting for Lost Soul Aside.
But yeah, it came out.
fine.
It looked really good. Only reason I've never played it is simply because it just looks like such a story and experience that you really want the time you play it to be memorable, I suppose.
Yes.
So I've never had
You don't
anybody
have
to
your own
play it
Iron
with
Mouse,
in that
that's
regard.
why.
Uh,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
however you want to take that, yes, I guess. But yeah, so it's just I've watched it and played a lot of times, and it looks like an incredible game. And when it won Game of the Year, I was like, yeah, well deserved. That game looked amazing and just was an incredible experience from beginning to finish, from the storytelling to the puzzle mechanics being really fun and the gameplay being entertaining. And it was just, yeah. So I thought that was a really cool thing, seeing an indie game win Game of the Year that year.
I remember
yeah,
people
it's-
being very angry about that mind. I forget what it beat out that people were pissy about, but yeah, to your point, even just to be nominated is a great, it shows where the indie space was at.
Right.
Yeah, and I was people getting angry at it is I laugh. I have gotten angry at Game of the Year winners before,
Say,
so I can't say too much. But you wanna know what the one time I got the most angry at a Game of the Year winner was?
Is it the Zelda year?
No.
oh,
Okay.
that's a
No,
surprise.
because Zelda, I was like, all right, it's Zelda. Sure, I can see that. Even if I wasn't that big to me, I was like, okay, sure, I get that. It's Zelda. Um, it was the year uh Red Dead Redemption won it,
Oh, wow. Unexpected.
because in that year
Who was it up against?
there wasn't a whole lot that came out that year that was really super large name titles.
Didn't God of War come out that year? Didn't they fight each other for that spot?
2018?
No, there was no God of War. That was in the gap between 3 and the reboot.
Okay, fair enough,
Like
fair enough.
like that was a sizable gap. Because 3 came out early 2010s, maybe even just before 2010,
Right.
because it was a PS2 game.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a PS2
Yes, it
game? I
was.
think it was a PS2 game.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I thought so. So yeah, all I remember is the title that stood out to me that was in the running was Mass Effect 2. It came out that
Oh,
year.
bro, okay. You're
Oh,
talking about
you're talking about
old
Red Dead
games.
Redemption.
That's what I said.
Yeah,
I just
We-
assumed you
meant
meant
to.
2.
Yeah, the new,
Ooh,
the
no.
new one.
No, I mean
You're-
the original.
You're talking about fucking old
Okay.
games, bro. You think our
Got it,
listeners know
got
what
it.
these old games are? Hell no.
Fair.
Goodness.
Yeah, that year I was livid
Actual red in the
when
face.
when Red Dead Redemption won.
Fuck me, man.
because first off, Mass Effect 2 is an RPG masterpiece in a lot of ways. It is an incredible game.
Wait, was it 1 or 2
like,
that deserves that title?
it was 2.
Oh, was it 2? Okay.
2. Yeah. Mass Effect 1 was a great game, but its gameplay was very clunky.
Yeah, it was.
To the point that they
uh,
actively asked people to... Well, they didn't ask, but they actively allowed people to skip it by way of the intro of Mass Effect 2, where you could just choose a bunch of options.
exactly.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
still, even when they released the recent like advanced masterpiece collection or whatever it was that has all 3 of them.
Right.
You can still do that in 2. You can still
Yeah.
not
Funny.
play
They
1,
understand
just
that
do that in 2.
people bought that game and probably still aren't going to play 1.
Yeah. So it's very clunky. But I mean, a lot of the storytelling elements and RPG elements are there, but they are all polished and made much better when 2 comes out. 2 is an incredible game as far as an RPG goes.
Right.
And in a lot of aspects, Red Dead Redemption is an RPG. Like, at least that's kind of how they market it. Yeah.
Oh,
I
They
think,
learned.
I think so. I want to say yes.
I know they did with 2. I can't remember if they marketed 1 that way. I know they've definitely felt like they marketed 2 very RPG-esque. I didn't play either 1 or 2, to be fair. So maybe there aren't. I don't really know. Because I remember because this was the year one of the years I worked at GameStop, if I recall. Should have been. No, it's not. I was too young to work at GameStop at that point, I think.
Bro.
Yeah, because Mass Effect 3 came out when I was still in high school, so right? Yes, maybe. What is time? Anyways, so it was Mass Effect 2 and then Red Dead Redemption. Mass Effect 2, incredible RPG. Red Dead Redemption 1. And I was no stranger to the internet. I was no stranger to online forums. I was no stranger to any of that. All of the excitement and everything online leading into Red Dead Redemption was, yo, it's Grand Theft Auto but cowboys.
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
That's like the only thing people said about it going up into the game.
Yeah,
Which is why I'm so
right?
surprised to hear RPG in it.
Exactly, right?
I mean, GTA is RPG technically.
Is it?
Is it?
I see people role playing it, but I don't know that I would count it as a role playing game.
Well,
Feels like just an.
I mean, and most of the role playing, most of the role playing is done in the online
Yeah, exactly.
replay mode. So
I
maybe it is. I don't know how you
think
would
it
quantify
technically
that,
is, but like the term RPG is so fucking muddied nowadays.
I
You
mean,
can apply
that's
that to
absolutely
anything.
true. You're just
Very.
correct.
So
I
Very
personally
true.
don't know if those games count as an RPG.
Yeah, I think I'm getting the
yeah.
modern term and just slapping it onto old games, and I'm just like, wait, is it technically, especially back then? I don't remember. But yeah.
But everybody was like, "Oh, it's GTA, but cowboys," and
Yeah, that is true. That is how it was explained to me.
Yes, it
So
was.
fair enough.
Mhm.
that is how they sold it back then, like 100%. And because it was Rockstar,
Yeah,
making the game.
both Rockstar.
Now, that being said, it's no secret my opinion on Grand Theft Auto as a game, as a series. I don't know if I've talked about it on the podcast. I'm going to assume I have and not take up time with it. If I haven't, somebody let me know and maybe I'll explain it in a different episode somewhere.
I'm pretty sure you did.
Yeah, I think I have. But I don't have a very high opinion of that series. To the point that there are streamers that I watch that play it. And usually I'll leave a streamer on no matter what they're playing in the background.
Right.
But if they switch to Grand Theft Auto, I will immediately close it because I don't want any association between me and that game series. I do not like Grand Theft Auto.
Okay, yep.
And so I took that vendetta and I directed it towards Red Dead Redemption and never gave it a chance, to be fair, back then. I mean, to be fair, I never played either of them still, so maybe I still am to some extent. But it was just like, that one. And even after the game came out, that's all people said about it. Like, all I ever saw anybody say about it was Grand Theft Auto, but cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you're telling me Grand Theft Auto, but cowboys is the game of the year compared to an RPG cinematographic masterpiece of its time? Because Mass Effect 2 was an incredible story being told in a very I can't say that word.
Cinematographic?
No, M.
So
Cinematographic?
Nope, no
that,
ma. No ma.
Cinegraphic.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yep.
That word
It's cinema.
was told in
That's what it is.
yeah, was told in an incredible way, was
Delicate.
incredible RPG elements, characters, gameplay, all of that. It's just like, you're telling me that Grand Theft Auto but Cowboys was better than Mass Effect 2? And I was just like, no, it's not. And so I had, for many years, this massive vendetta against Red Dead Redemption because it, to me, unjustly won a Game of the Year. And now I don't have an issue with Red Dead 2 because I actually watched people play that one, and I'm like, that actually looks like a really solid game. I'm not gonna lie, it actually looked pretty darn good. It didn't look anything like the first one, even. It looked like a genuinely good game. So, though I don't think it deserved Game of the Year that year, it at least looked like a deserving game, whereas the first Red Dead didn't. So that's why I feel like maybe it's not all bias, because even when I saw the Red Dead 2, I wasn't as angry with Red Dead 2 because I was just like, I mean, it at least looks like a solid game.
Mm-hmm.
And I've watched it and it looked like it played like a fun, to the point that even I was like, maybe I'll play Red Dead 2. Maybe.
Oh my god.
I haven't.
You had to hear, folks.
But
No. He
but
hasn't. He didn't.
I haven't. But it's like, I was willing to. Whereas nothing I've seen of one, nothing I saw of one, nothing about one made it look like a good game to me. Nor did it look entertaining. There were a couple points where I was like, the story tidbits in the story were like interesting ? But never enough to the point that I'm like, oh, maybe I'll play this. I just didn't care. It didn't look good. And then couple onto that, I thought it won the award that it just did not deserve, compared to a game that I think definitely deserved it. And now I think Mass Effect is considered, in some extents, like a cult classic series.
I think it's just a classic in general.
Because I don't know if it's big enough to be considered part of a mainstream series or not. So I don't remember how I got onto this. Oh, because we're talking about the indie games thing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the only time I was ever upset with a Game of the Year award was when Red Dead 1 beat out Mass Effect 2. So yeah, so to that tangent completely aside, I was very happy to see It Takes Two, an indie game, beat out a lot of other games.
Yeah.
So it shows that if you make a game and don't, monetize it to hell and back, is very possible to make a good game that does really well that people enjoy.
Agreed.
I got super on that tangent.
Yeah, you did. Oh yeah, you did.
I don't know. All that anger stirred up in me again. I'm still bitter about it. Over 20 years later, I think. It's 20, maybe it's not quite 20, but it's almost 20 years later. I'm still bitter about it. I will never consider myself a bitter old man unless you bring that up. Then I'm a bitter old man.
No, I'll be bitter for both of us. I'm good with that.
You'd be bitter for both of us? Okay. Yeah, I will circle back to that first thing I was saying earlier on is I'm happy to be at a point where I can go back to actual playing some games again.
Yeah.
I'm not absorbed in the endless grind of other games so much. At least for 2 weeks. We'll see what the update to Relink does. Maybe that'll throw me back into that grind endlessly again.
Yeah.
They'll come out soon. Both Celestia and
I can't believe y'all went and killed Lucilius without me.
Well, look, I am offering to take you through it too. I did it by my lonesome. I then did it with Say. I then did it with Say and Shell. I then did it with Say and Shell and Aqua. I will do it with me and you, or me and you and Say, or me, you, Say, and Shell, or me, you, Say, Shell, and Aqua. See, I'm still not leaving you out.
See, Aqua, you're not forgotten. I never got an invite, bro. Feelings are hurt, man.
Pretty sure I put it in general. I think that's why Aqua knew.
I mean, I never saw y'all in Discord with it. That's why I say that.
Oh, well, it's because we didn't do it in this Discord. When it was just me, I just did it. And then Say...
Well, yeah.
Say tagged me, and then I did with her, and then with Shell when he heard me take Say through it, and then... It's just a vicious cycle.
I'm mostly poking fun, like I've said. There's a part of me that wants to wait and do it poetically with Sandalphon.
With Sandalphon, yeah.
Yeah, and just be like, yeah, I win. I showed you all the cool stuff with Lucio.
You did?
With from the actual Grand Blue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Nat, did you ever actually try out original Grand Blue? I remember after last time we recorded, you were poking at it a little bit. How'd that?
Yeah, I got to the part where I was supposed to do something with my account, and I couldn't get fucking Google Translate or fucking Opera GX Translate the page, and I just said, "Oh fuck this! I don't care enough."
Yeah, that checks. That checks all the way out.
That's fair.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, this has been a good, hour and a half ish of us complaining about publishers, I guess. Was that what we intended? No,
not
that's
really.
how
It
it
wasn't
played out.
intended.
Yeah.
It's just that's just the current state of fucking gaming as of right now.
It is.
It is, yeah. No, that is. That's how it happened, huh?
Mm.
Oh, this is completely unrelated, but it's my getting back into playing games. I need to do my Cyberpunk run through.
Yes.
I was so hyped to do that. Then there was the SSD thing, and I couldn't. And I finally got an SSD, and I still haven't done it. So that might take precedence after finishing Persona.
Soon.
Well, listeners, thank you for sitting here and listening to us complain for a while. I'm sure you're used to it at this point, right? You know, the big double two. You've got to be used to it by now, right?
Hopefully.
We appreciate you all, each and every one of you. Thank you so much for listening to us complain and
Very
chat and
much
hang
so.
out.
Yeah.
You are all very appreciated. And yeah, don't forget to go give us a follow over on the social medias. Links are always in the description of every version. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. All the links should be down there. You go give us a follow. And yeah, let us know what you thought. And we'll see you all on the next one. Peace.
Take care, everyone.
Be good now.